December 3.
Today is October 18th. We are in group 51.
And we're going to do the project of pot and hand. I'm Eduardo.
I'm Carla. I'm Cynthia.
And I'm Adele.
For this project, we started by leaving a cup of vinegar apart. After having it, the remaining vinegar we put it into a boiling pot, in order that we began to add the sodium bicarbonate little by little. As you can see, here we are adding the vinegar to the boiling pot, and after we put every drop of vinegar, we began to add the sodium bicarbonate tablespoon by tablespoon. An important thing was that we needed to wait until the bubbling stopped in order to add another tablespoon. As you can see, when we add the bicarbonate to the vinegar, it starts bubbling a lot. Here the bubbling stops, and we were able to put the other tablespoon of sodium bicarbonate. After several times, the bubbling began to become lighter. This was because we have added approximately half of the sodium bicarbonate we have. After adding half of the sodium bicarbonate, we needed to add half of tablespoon of sodium bicarbonate also. We didn't find a specific purpose for doing this, but we hope it was for making the reaction successful. As you can see, the bubbling is getting lighter and lighter by the time, and we needed to add all the remaining bicarbonate to the solution. What we achieved in these steps was to add the vinegar with sodium bicarbonate, so we made a kind of sodium acetate. It is a solution and everything mixed completely. After several minutes, we accomplished to add all the sodium bicarbonate to the solution, and we needed to add the remaining cup of vinegar to it. We put this boiling pot into middle flame,
2,000 years later.
and after all that time, we saw that it changed in color.
After changing the color, we covered the pot with plastic and we let the solution cool down, so the particles go back to the normal motion of a liquid and it will stop evaporating. When we add the activated charcoal, we are making a chemical change, because we are adding carbon to the previous solution. Then we stir everything so the carbon can mix completely. We are filtering the solution in order to remove the charcoal and other leftovers that couldn't be totally dissolved.
After making our first filtering, we were not able to wash everything very careful, because there were a lot of remnants in the boiling pot. After we washed everything, we were now able to pass our solution through the coffee filters. It took several minutes to the solution, but we saw this step very important because part of the activated charcoal stayed in the coffee filters as a black mass. We believe that the properties of the charcoal stayed in the solution, but the color changed from black to gray.
After we washed all the materials we used, we put the solution into low flame and don't letting it boil. Washing everything is important to get rid of the leftovers that can damage the development of the experiment. Now we are putting the solution in a cup. We are now filtering the solution with 5 coffee filters, and here we didn't find any physical or chemical change. since we are just taking out the remaining activated charcoal that didn't mix up with the solution of vinegar. And we are seeing a change in color from black to yellowish. Now we are going to boil the resultant solution that we got after filtering it, and this is a physical change because the state of matter is changing. That means part of the solution evaporates. Then we filtered the solution for the third time with 10 coffee filters, and we see that the color is getting lighter.
Now we need to put our solution into the filtering pot and then put the pot into the medium flame. We need the solution to evaporate slowly until it becomes in a dark color and half of the volume of it is gone. And also we need to have a remnant powder. Like there we can see that the solution is starting to evaporate, which is a physical change because we are changing the state of the matter. We can see the different color, and then we can see at the right part of the pot we can see the solution, and in the left part we can see the remnant powder. We need to put the remnant powder into a safe place and the solution into the glass container. As we can see there, it was so difficult to take out the remnant powder because it was attached to the pot, but we did it. That is also a physical change. Then we need to cover our glass container with plastic wrap and leave it in the container with ice until it cools down into room temperature. We saw that nothing happened, so we stored the bowl with ice into the freezer because the freezer wasn't functioning as normal. This step is important as the other because it is the last step where we boil for the last time and put our solution into the freezer in order for us to wait for the hot ice. For the last step, we need to inspect our solution. We took it out of the freezer and saw that it was still liquid, but when we put the remnant powder into the solution, it became a hot ice. There we can see that it is liquid, still liquid. There we are putting the remnant powder into our solution. The chemical and physics change that happened in this last step was that the solution changed into a hot ice. That is known as sodium acetate. Well, since we combined the vinegar with the sodium bicarbonate, it became a sodium acetate. What happened when we put the spoon with the remnant powder in it was that it crystallized, and that is a chemical change. The importance of this step was that we got to know which was the result of spending a lot of hours doing this experiment. This was our project.
Thank you for your attention. Hope you like it.
Goodbye.